if Jose Silva were here, and you probably tell your students, as I do, you have everything you need. You bring everything you need into this class. What we're going to do for you is teach you a systematic step-by-step approach for you to bring out your, dare I say, your genius like a
Your genius, yeah, right.
And if I may just add too, the counselors in the laboratory, since you brought that up, are looked at in very different ways by people. For some, it's a deep moving spiritual experience. For some, it's a personification of our higher self, of a way to tune into our authentic self. It's a way to remove, because oftentimes logic is very demanding. And we need that. And scientists, we need scientists. They say, show me the money, show me the empirical evidence. But we don't always have empirical evidence yet for that idea that's just purely subjective. And just about, I would challenge you, not you, Achille, but
Of course.
just about every innovation, medical breakthrough, you name it, on this planet first started with an idea. And
Yes.
often they're told, are you kidding me? Stick to what you know, no way. And then they work for years sometimes
Yep.
to make it objectively reality. And this is what I hear you referring to.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep. And I think I like how you bring in the science and the statistic around, right? You take people from Einstein, right? Steve Jobs, Tesla, right? They will tell you how most of their work came from that subjective dimension. Most of the work came from them understanding how to leverage, right? On tap into those intuitive forces. Otherwise, Einstein should have all his kid if he was just through genes or whatever, right? He will have all his kid geniuses, right? But none of them actually exist right now who can actually do the thing at the level of their father, right? So yes, in business, I think for me, counselors have been a really uh, a hold or a strong hold, right, to help me navigate through situation, even with the team.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was just thinking out loud for a moment what we say about subjective thoughts. We go on. When I first started in Silva 71, I was teaching, training, working with really literally the best of the best, the people who put the Silva Method on the planet. They were really sharp business people. They didn't last long because they thought very differently, but they brought that business sense. So I was in New York City, Manhattan, in Brooklyn, which is where I took the class, Rhode Island, all throughout New England, and then, of course, in Boston. And I go back and forth. But I met Dr. Almond Bose, the founder of Bose Corporation. And Dr. Bose did the training, not with me, I wish, with my director. And then we were offering programs. My director did the programs they're still there, Framingham. I don't recall the timing, but it was at least a few a year. And Dr. Bose would pay half of the fees because he found it was helping them to be more innovative, come up with
Yes.
ideas, the engineers to figure things out. And it was always funny working with the engineers because they say, how the heck does this work? And
Yes.
I don't know. I can't, but I know if you do this, this, and that, it'll help you come up with an answer.
Yes. Yes.
And
And to that though, if I may, you mentioned the books, right? One of the book, out there focusing on marketing, but leveraging on the human part of us. Okay, so innovation part of it, there is a chapter on innovation where we just simply put innovation approach into a matrix, right? In 4 lines, and there is the third line is you actually asking, what could I do for my client? That's where the Silva tool come very handy because now it's not you trying to figure out, no, you asking the universe, you asking, what could I do that I'm not doing now? Because I know already what are they doing and how that can benefit them. You'll be surprised how ideas will just pop up and just take note, right? You're not there to challenge with logic and all that. So innovation wise, we use we use the Silva method a lot to help business owners create, to help actually engineers, because we are an IT company. We have a partnership with Google to help actually engineers leverage beyond the logic and everything they know on the intuitive part too. Yeah.
whoa, I'm
Yes.
taking notes too, by the way.
Maybe before we go to Holoving, one example, maybe that will be practical on counselors. I have a contract with Bell Canada. It was in 2009. Okay, where in the collection, right, receivable collection department, right, they were having challenges because, as well as me, when it comes to collection, usually people are invited to be aggressive, right? Because, oh, they owe money, they need to pay this and all that. I'm like, no, human being are human being, right? We all have somewhere in us, that peaceful person that God created. Okay. So I approach it actually with the the counselors, approach technique, which I'm sure your audience, if again, you never took the immersion, there are many instructors out there. Ken has his session and all that. Just check out and come understand better how the counseling process actually works. So then I was with these people, and every time before I make a call, I actually go to level very quick. The more you master it is very quick, right? And I ask, what is the main issue behind this person not being to pay? Oh, you know what? And ideas just come, in your mind, right? So you don't want to resist, and I just go toward that. And I did that during the contract, helping them, and they end up wanting me to teach the other collectors how to actually approach it the same way. It was just funny. I'm like, okay, then there is something about us really tapping into, that dimension. I wanted just to put out, that example, more than 10, 15 years ago, which was, amazing and reinforced me to continue actually doing then what I do.